Welcome to Pokemon Masters Console episode 43. We have a nice casual, sort of fun, a little bit of a different podcast today, right Justin?
That's right. Got the old coffee mug as always.
Absolutely.
We're doing a little over Wi-Fi today. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, sorry if it sounds a little different than usual.
Yeah.
But we had a lot happen. Kids, stuff happens. Kids. Life happens. Yep. So we're doing it on a beautiful Saturday morning. Mm-hmm. I work second shift, so it is literally morning for me.
Yep.
But we're having a great time. We're talking about some metal shows that we got going on this spring. We're really, really happy. Some of our favorite bands of all time growing up are now coming back for some anniversary tours and all that. But other than that, what else have you been up to, Brandon? Hey, Ben, Mr. Zero, back in the house. You feeling better?
Yeah, so the reason this podcast is coming at you in such a funny way at a funny time and a funny topic is because I was pretty sick on Wednesday, which is our normal recording day. We were geared up to go until the last second. I was at work, I was hanging in there. I was like, I'll be fine. And then as soon as I get in my car, I'm like, I think I'm gonna vomit. Yeah, yeah. So then we had to cancel that last minute. So then it kind of threw a wrench in what we were gonna do. And I think, but
Wednesday night, mm-hmm. the Nintendo Direct was dropped. So it was fortuitous. It was like, hey man, in terms of our schedules aligning up, the next time we had was Saturday morning. Let's just record something Saturday morning. We even talked about maybe doing our first live podcast. Yeah. Would that be something you guys are interested in? We appreciate all of the support that we've been getting on this journey up to 1,000 subscribers. We really, really appreciate it. Keep sharing out that content. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell button to stay notified every time we put up a new podcast or any other Pokemon content on the channel. And remember, we also... if you're listening to us on Spotify, we do have the Pokemon channel. If you listen to us on YouTube, if you're watching this on YouTube, listen to us on Spotify as well. We post up the extracurricular as well as the podcast.
Yeah, we got to get some extracurricular stuff going up there, buddy. What are some topics we could talk about for extracurriculars? I'm putting you on the spot right now. What do you think?
I was thinking about doing more of, because there's going to be a lot of tournament coverage.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So making the extracurricular would basically, because we're not Pokemon Master Class anymore, we would change the name and it would be something tournament based, and it would basically be the rebrand of all of our, not super big major podcast worthy, just the standard every week to week tournament coverage for Pokemon stuff. We would still do it, but it would just be Spotify only content.
That's a great idea. You're a genius. So yeah, so guys, we're going to be talking a lot about the Direct for our main topic, but we're going to be talking about lots of Pokemon before we hit the break. We'll have timestamps in the description as always. So let's start out with some host hobbies. So you guys, I barely have anything to talk about, so I'm going to turn it over to Justin first because he's had a pretty eventful week.
Yeah, it's been a lot going on. So since the last podcast came out on the day that Fire Emblem Engage dropped, and as everyone knows on the channel, for people that you don't, not only Pokemon, not only some TCGs growing up, but also Fire Emblem. I'm a big fan of all of the turn-based, anything turn-based, tactical. I'm already interested. If it's turn-based, I'm interested at least. It's just my thing. I like the tactic stuff. So Fire Emblem Engage came out. Super huge fan of Fire Emblem. This game's great. I'm almost to 70 hours.
Really? You're almost to 70 hours already?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Dang.
67 hours so far.
Hey, but that is, to me, when I put 60, 70 hours in a game, money well spent, bro. When I hit that mark right there, it's just all right, this game was totally worth it.
Yeah, because if you think about that, that means that you spend $1 per hour for enjoyment. And I'm only on chapter 17. And we'll talk about it later, but I've also just purchased the expansion pass for the DLC. Mm-hmm. So we'll talk about that in the main topic, because obviously that's part of the Direct. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, yeah.
Part of the Direct. Yeah. So really, really exciting to do some of that. There's a lot of fun stuff. It's different. I think I talked about it last time. It is different than somebody like you who's only played 3 houses. It's more traditional Fire Emblem.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm having a lot of fun with it. Other than that, in the non-Pokemon world, I also had a tournament. Been super busy, so my Warhammer tournament went really well. It was actually the day after our podcast dropped last time. I lost the first game, but it's one of those awkward things because there's so much to Warhammer. Like it's such a cerebral game. Like you have to. There's so much. Like it's taxing at times.
Yeah.
And the dude played it wrong, and it really, 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 really mattered. There's a lot of details, but one of the nicest dudes. I even texted you, like I had a 9 out of 10. Remember?
Yeah,
message.
yeah.
I was like, I just had like one of the best. So the dude he basically had a vampire army. I showed you pictures of it. Remember this guy?
Yeah. This one was really cool.
So that big giant. So it was a Mordor themed vampire army.
Yep.
So Mordor from Lord of the Rings, and then he also had like basically just not just Mordor, but all like the 5. So he had like the "You shall not pass."
Yep.
For anybody that's ever seen Lord of the Rings, the big fire demon. He had one of those models as his like. Have you ever seen Van Helsing?
Yeah.
You know how at the end Dracula transforms to like a bat monster version?
Yep.
That. He had like, imagine that. There was like 3 of those in his army that were like characters or whatever. And so like they were like special little heroes that he could buff up and like they fly forward and throw a million dice at you and do a lot of damage. And he played it wrong a little bit and he did more damage than he was supposed to. So it really, and it was at the very beginning of the game. So it really mattered, but it was a great game. Had a great time, but I ended up losing. And then the next 2 games I ended up winning. Had a really fun time, but I kind of played more to my usual, where I had 20 to 30 points, and my opponent had 10s. So a little bit more regular output for the dwarves. Had a lot of fun with my fire dwarves. The first tournament with them. I'm always wondering like what could have been if I want a rematch from that guy, but he's from Ann Arbor. He ended up winning the whole tournament. So at the end of the day, my only loss was to the number 1 person there. So can't be sad about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And had a great time.
And did you have fun? That's
it's great.
Yeah.
Had a good amount of people show up. I think it was 12 people at the end of the day, which is a great showing for like a little practice one day or for people for reference.
Yeah.
So yeah, really great time. So what about you, man? What you been up to? Other than, obviously working and being sick.
Yeah, so that was awful. But so I got a new job. And I got it in December, so it's not necessarily new. So we did this like Valentine's Day exchange thing. They like to do lots of fun things in the office. So me and the ladies at the front desk, we got in this like drawing, right? $25 limit. It's like Secret Santa, but they don't do.
It's just a different holiday.
It's Secret Valentine.
It's Secret Santa just in February.
Yeah. So
you buy. So for people that don't know what Secret Santa is, you buy each other like a blind draw. Like, oh, Brandon now has to buy Justin a gift, but Justin doesn't know that Brandon drew him. So at the day of, all of a sudden there's a gift, and I was like, "Oh, you had me. Oh, I had so and so, and I had so." And everyone buys each other a secret gift. That's why it's called Secret Santa.
Yeah. So, everyone at the office knows that I love Pokemon. It's not a secret. They're all subscribed to the channel. If they watch the channel, yes. They're all subscribed to the channel. They're subscribed to the channel. I know that for a fact.
You can't bring the mug to work?
I can. I probably should. But yeah. So originally she bought me a shirt, and my wife also works at the same job in a different building, and we have Microsoft Teams that we communicate through, so they can all talk to my wife. So the person who drew me
So they asked Melvin.
Has been communicating with my wife. And
her name is Melissa. We call her Melvin.
Yeah.
We've known her since we were 14. It's a long...
So this person bought me a shirt, sent it to my wife, and was like, hey, I bought him this. And ironically, my wife already bought me the same shirt. So my wife's like,
Good job, Melvin!
Yes.
Nice job, Melvin! Let's go!
So my wife's like, yeah, he already has that shirt. So she was like freaking out, trying to figure out. And they know I love Pokemon. This girl's like, well, what about Pokemon cards? My wife's like, sure, get him Pokemon cards. Here's the packs that he would enjoy. So
He's kind of a crackhead for Pokemon cards.
Yeah, imagine that. So she bought me 2 packs of Lost Origins, okay? And when I saw that she bought me Pokemon cards, I was like, okay, we have to open them here and now, right?
Oh, yeah, on the spot.
Well, I was a little worried because you know that the pull rates from some card packs are not great,
and then
right?
You have to fake like, oh, thanks, Debbie.
Yeah, I guess.
This is a great Caterpie.
Yeah, I got a holographic hop. I have to be like, wow, thanks. You know, so that's what I was worried about. 100% not what happened, okay? And I'm going to show you guys. Okay. We had 4 hits in 2 packs. Unheard of. 4 hits in 2 packs, okay? So we're going to go down the line here from least viable to most viable, okay? So the first thing I got, full art Opal. Full art.
Oh.
Okay, the card itself, not great. Flip 2 coins for each number of heads. Grab a card out of your deck.
Oh, I'm already out. Flip.
Yeah, it's a terrible. It's
Flip
actually.
2 coin? No.
But beautiful artwork.
But yeah. Flip 2 coins. Draw a card for every head.
Coming up next, we have Drapion. This is the anti. This is the anti-Mew VMAX. This is the one that for every rapid, fusion, or single strike Pokemon on the field, your attacks cost less energy. So, obviously, fusion strike decks with like Mew, they fill their board. So this is a free 190 base attack dark move against Mew VMAX. So, and it'll basically be a free attack. So you throw this out there, KO a Mew VMAX for free. Insane card. Nice little like tech for like gadget decks. Coming up next, we've got Hisuian Gudra V. So
there we go.
We all know that Hisuian Gudra V star is an absolute tank. Tons of healing, does tons of damage, and shields itself from attacks after it uses its main move. So this is the first form of that. So pretty cool. And we all love Gudra here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And last but not least, a card that is worth more than the packs that she bought. Eternatus VMAX.
Wow.
Character rare with Rose, dude.
With Rose. That is extremely rare.
Dude.
Bro.
It's
like 100 packs. I don't know how many packs that's worth.
I could not believe it. Okay, so I opened the first pack and it had 2 hits in it, and I told her right there, I was like, okay, the way this works is the next pack is going to be absolutely garbage, okay? Because I'm like freaking out. I'm like, oh my god, this was amazing. 2 pulls in 1 pack.
2 in 1.
And then we open the next one. It's another double hit, and I was like, no, you don't understand. This doesn't happen. This does not happen. These are the luckiest packs I've ever opened in my whole life.
What are you freaking out for?
Yeah, dude. It's literally the luckiest 2 packs I've ever opened, dude. So, yeah, that's pretty much why. There was some other fun stuff, like I got a sushi gift card and all that stuff. But yeah, I thought I would share those because you know what I mean. Pokemon channel, Pokemon cards, pulls.
There you go.
Hype stuff.
I like that full character art. That's a smexy one, man.
Yeah. So, with all that in mind, let's keep talking about Pokemon. Let's move this train along a little bit. Pokemon Unite. Let's talk about Pokemon Unite for a few minutes. We've had a couple characters leak that they're about to drop into Pokemon Unite.
Yeah, we haven't really been playing much Unite since 9th Gen drop. We've been all on the Scarlet and Violet train, and it's just it's hard to get time to get everybody in at the same time, and it's not worth it to play with the Randys, right?
Right. And
everybody's schedule right now, so we can't really find time. And Not to mention, like, it's not worth the cost investment if we can't all play together.
Mm-hmm. And I think that you and I kind of agree that, like, it'd be fun to play the game again, like, casually, but there's too many bot games, dude. Like,
yeah, like, you can't even play it. Like, I don't mind playing ranked, and I don't mind playing casual, but we were getting bot games in both.
Exactly. So it's like, and dude, nothing feels worse, like a bigger waste of time than playing a bot game, right? Like,
yeah,
that's how I felt. I'm sure you feel the same way. Yeah.
So that's why we haven't been covering on the channel very much lately. For the new people, we used to cover it a lot because it was really fun back in the day, but it kind of fell off.
Yeah.
But it is really exciting to still kind of keep in touch because maybe it'll get better in the future.
Right.
But they just announced Lapras as a defender.
That's
pretty cool.
Love it.
And then a fan favorite on the channel, Goodra as a defender. So 2 really cool Pokemon, and I'm obviously I play defenders, so that's really cool for me to have 2 new. Yeah, there you go. It was regular Goodra, but yeah.
Yeah. But
I'm a Blastoise main, so to see either one of those 2, maybe be a nice new. I've been saying forever they need more defenders in that game, so that's really cool. Very excited. Maybe someday we'll be able to pick that game back up again and mess around. But if we're getting bot games, it's not worth it.
So another thing I've heard rumblings of, I don't know, have you heard or seen about this, Umbreon leaking for Pokemon Unite as well?
Yeah, I heard rumors.
Yeah. So 3 defenders, just beefing up the defender class for Pokemon Unite? What do you think about that?
I'm pretty excited about it, but it's just the dream is gone, man. Like,
yeah. We got to find a different angle. If we got less bot games, it'd be really fun to stream with viewers. You know what I mean? But the problem is, you hit casual, and you've got a 5 stack. There are no other 5 stacks in the casual mode, so bot game for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. So that is the news for Pokemon Unite. Let's move on to some more Pokemon news. We had a big regional over the weekend, Justin, in Orlando.
Yep.
So I am going to take our ugly mugs off the screen, and I am going to pull up the top cut from Orlando Regionals, where none other than Wolf Glick takes the win. 200 CP, $3,000.
Yeah, dude. And unfortunately, for anyone that wants to play on the ladder anytime soon, what did he win with?
He won with Perish Trap. Oh, God, no. He won with Perish Trap, bro.
Perish Trap. Screamtail of all the Paradox. She's so good. I hate that she's so good because I hate her. She's so bad, but so good.
Yeah, Screamtail is actually, I think Screamtail is kind of a Pokemon that got overlooked early on when all the rest of when we were kind of diving into Paradox Pokemon, like everyone, not like just us in general. And it turns out it's actually really good in both formats, in 3v3s, in VGC, and then even in Smogon singles. It's pretty good, right?
And then obviously trapping them in with the Gothitelle, which we saw a lot of in the top cut. So pretty interesting spread in the top cut. There's quite a few Great Tusks.
Yeah.
Very unsurprising. There's also quite a few Armor Rouge, and almost all of them, all but one, have the Indeedee. So another call from the channel here. You know, kind of what we've been talking about with Series 2 if you go watch our last podcast. So pretty exciting that we got a couple that we can pat ourselves on the back for. Everybody in the channel, leave a like for the getting it right a little bit. So that feels good, obviously. Everybody down in the comments, you guys all pat yourselves on the back for getting that one right.
So it is kind of interesting as we look through here that there's actually a few Gothitelle in top 8. There's 3 of them. So
very popular.
And Tyrannotars. So and a couple of them are Trick Room.
Yeah, because when you're Trick Room was real popular.
Yeah.
Because when you're trapping them in and you're doing that stall kind of shenanigans, again, like we saw with the Garganackle, a lot of stall shenanigans.
Yeah.
like we've been doing with the Vaporeon and the Yawn, stuff like that. That T-Tar brings in the tick damage from the Sandstorm.
Yeah, and it's really actually interesting that a lot of these T-Tars are actually like offensive. Like we're seeing some Assault Vest variants.
Oh, because he hits.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's not a slacker, man.
He's so versatile. He's still one of the GOATs for a reason. Like there's a reason that he's always had super just busted stats. Like he's well-rounded everywhere.
So I gotta ask you, is the meta how do you feel like the meta is shaping up compared to what you thought it would be? Because like I've got some thoughts a little bit. I kind of want to put the ball in your court here really quick.
It's to a certain extent, it's Series 2 has turned out what I thought it would be on the ladder.
Mm-hmm.
In that everything just hits so hard. It's really hard to like tank hits. So when you do find the instances that you are tanking the hits, make note of it, because that's a special Pokemon or that's a special instance. It's more rare to find pokes that'll just shrug stuff off.
Right.
It happened, but it's more rare than it was in Series 1. That's what it feels like right now. Is like, that hurt. That's what it. You know what I mean? Everything just hits so hard.
Yeah.
Which we knew, obviously. Like it's not a surprise, but that's. But then when you see the tournament results, it's like there's a lot of hard hitting stuff, but then there's a lot of these tricks.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of tricksy tricks. And I don't literally mean like because I'm not trying to make a pun here, but that's just what it seems like. Like a lot of stall tactics, dirty, filthy, stinky stall play. That's what it feels like in these tournament results. There's so much trick room. There's so much Gothitelle. But they do still have some bombs. Like there's quite a few very offensive Great Tusks.
Yeah. So like this is something
131, baby.
Yeah, there's a couple things that I wanted to mention about Series 2 as a whole. It seems okay, the series it's still very young, but you're seeing such a fun spread of Pokemon right now. Like you're still seeing Amoonguss and you're seeing Brute Bonnet. And
yeah, dude.
Gothitelle is rising. I'm seeing some Volcaronas. Tyranitar, it's so cool to see Tyranitar. Like he was nowhere. He was nowhere in Series 1, and now look at him.
Huge fan of Brute Bonnet right now. He's been a lot of fun with me. I've been running the loaded dice set that we saw with the Bullet Seed.
Yeah.
So it's Spore, Rage Powder, Bullet Seed, and I run Crunch because there's so much psychic terrain on the ladder.
Yeah.
And then if you are in a trick room, whether it's set up by yourself or the opponent, you're super slow, so Crunch will just go first.
Yeah. I'm enjoying seeing a few different like team archetypes in this top cut. We've got the Perish Trap team, and then we've got this really fun balance team from Ashton Cox with like the Amoonguss. We got the Dondozo Tatsugiri, but then there's a Roaring Moon, there's a Golden Goal, like, and then the next team down from that is this like weird team with a couple different modes. It's got that Trick Room mode with Gothitelle, Sylveon, and Great Tusk, and then there's the T-Tar for that mid range, and then you got the Dragonite and Iron Bundle for your fast mode. So like we're seeing this really cool like balance of teams. I'm really like actually pretty excited for the direction that Series 2 is going. You know what I mean? It's actually kind of exciting compared to Series 1.
Yeah, there's some exciting stuff. It's different, like especially ladder and tournament are always a little bit different, so you have to put that into context. True. Like most games, Warhammer's the same way. Is it a casual Tuesday, or is it a 1-day practice, or is it a 2-day grand tournament?
All right, so I have one more. Yeah. I have one more kind of Series 2 question for you before we take a break, and then we talk about the Nintendo Direct. So for you, I already have my answers. Most surprising Paradox Pokemon and biggest disappointment for you so far in your playtesting and your watching.
What do you mean by surprising?
Is there a Paradox Pokemon that is seeing some viability that kind of you're like, huh, okay, like maybe?
Oh, well, I'll admit I was definitely one of the millions and millions of people like me that did not give Screamtail the due that she deserved on paper.
Yeah.
Upon first reading.
Same.
She's a lot better. Like, I thought that she'd be a good tank stats. Obviously, I read that. Good support moves. But I didn't put it all together. And I'll admit that.
Yeah. I'm the same. Same answer for me.
Absolutely the most obnoxious thing I've ever... Encore disable? What?
Yeah. Yep.
What? No!
So...
No! With Terra to get out of... Oh!
Yep.
So we've actually been... spoiler alert, we've been using her in some practice games, and she's been doing really good work for us, hasn't she?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Stay tuned for that battle video. We're not going to spoil it here. Don't you say anything, Zero.
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Okay. So, yes, I'm going to agree with you. So for me...
And what was the second one?
So for me, biggest surprise is Screamtail. So now I want to know from you. I already got my answer. What's your biggest disappointment so far when it comes to Paradox Pokemon? Is there a Pokemon that has kind of fallen below expectations for you?
Yes, but I have to put it into context.
I know where you're going. I'm going to agree with you. Go for it.
Hands.
Oh, okay. That's not what I was going for. Elaborate, sir. Elaborate.
Everyone knows what he does.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that he's a huge threat. Everyone has been more than prepared.
Yes.
Also, so A, he's been doing good in tournaments since day 0.
Mm-hmm.
B, he's really, just logically, he's just good on paper.
Yeah.
Doesn't take a genius to see that. You just read those stats and see the moves. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's a great Pokemon.
Yep.
Not to mention the fact that, what items exist and what Terras he could possibly be on top of that, and then it's even better.
Yeah.
But Hariyama was good in Series 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Really good in Series 1, actually.
Yep.
In tournaments and on the ladder. Both metas. They introduced a brand new item into this generation, Brandon.
Would that be...
Called the Covert Cloak.
Covert Cloak, yep.
So, I found Hands so far disappointing in my experience.
Really?
And I don't think it's because Hands is bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's because everyone knows what he does and is prepared for him. It's like trying to run Garchomp after everyone already, is prepared for Garchomp.
Yeah, you have to... Yeah. You really got to play it right. It's a good Pokemon, but, you have to call out some BS, right? That's how you play those good Pokemon.
When anyone can add Covert Cloak, and there's a lot of good Ghost types, and you can Ghost Terra.
Yeah. Ghost Terra Talonflame. We're seeing it all over the place.
So it's a tricky world to live in. It's not an easy Pokemon to play right now because he's so popular. Everyone knows what Iron Hands does. Everyone has a plan for Iron Hand.
Yeah, exactly.
And because they now have the Covert Cloak, it's just that next level where I've actually found it difficult to even utilize him.
I can see that, yeah.
So I know that's a weird answer, but in my experience so far, it's actually been more difficult than I thought it would be. I thought I would just start steamrolling people.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to get to mine, and I'm going to speak about this on a somewhat singles level, but I think you will agree with me.
Your disappointment.
My disappointment, and maybe this is a personal thing, I have been disappointed in the performance of my Iron Bundle. And it's not because... Yeah, you're laughing. You know where I'm going, bro. You know where I'm going with this, bro. You know where I'm going with this.
You still have that footage?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And I will make. I can either post a full video of it, or I can make a short out of it. We'll talk about that off camera.
Right now, if you wanted.
Yes. Okay. Post editing. I'm gonna do that right now. Okay. So witness this madness. What's he gonna? He can't KO me. Even if
he can't take you out anyway. So you might as well go for it and see.
Yeah. It's 100%. It's keys.
And even if he goes back to the poison guy, he's not dragging anymore. So
yeah,
he kind of burned himself there.
God damn
it.
Dude.
He's like a little Christmas ornament. With skis for feet.
He does look like a Christmas ornament, dude. Oh yeah, give me those keys, bro. Give me the keys.
Or the keys.
Give me the keys.
Yeah, he did it one too many times.
Damn it, dude.
Pump is the worst move.
God. Okay, so now you've witnessed this madness. I am sick of missing all these damn hydro pumps, dude. I'm so sick of it.
I hate it. It's 85 my beep.
Yeah,
that is
dude.
not 85%, bro.
Dude, but it's like it's got the almost perfect move set. It's got flip turn,
yeah,
freeze dry / icy wind or whatever.
Surf?
No, it has no mid ground.
Yeah, okay. So it's either chilling water or pump.
I think water pulse is the next. It has.
Okay. Water
so
pulse.
There's no mid ground between hydro pump and water pulse. There's no mid ground. So. You know, it's just kind of maddening. Like, I lost two games.
What's 65?
I think it's 60. 60 or 60.
60, 20. That's the jump if you want 100% accuracy.
Dude,
versus that. So, obviously, in a nutshell, we are playing Pokemon.
Yeah.
Things can miss. And 85, technically, you just had a bad roll. Yeah, but we did. But that was an entire session ruined. That was an entire session ruined. Games lost because he missed that pump.
You can't miss hydro pump in 3v3.
You can't miss a move.
You can't.
Especially being that squishy.
Yeah.
So it mattered.
It does.
And it's a bad feeling. And it ended up ruining that recording in terms of like being a battle video. He didn't ding Masters that day.
Yeah.
That session, I think we did later that day, but that session, we ended up putting it down and going to eat and coming back later.
Dude.
Because we just missed 5 different pumps and they all mattered.
Yeah.
He never hit a pump.
Yep.
I mean, he hit some pumps that day, but he never hit enough, even close to mathematical, statistical probability there on an 85%.
I had to drop him. I had to drop him because.
We got hacked.
Yeah.
But there isn't an emotional influence.
Well, and you have to kind of limit the BS factor, right? Like, you have to, even Wolfie posted a video all about it, about how you need to weigh the risk versus reward. And in 3v3, the risk and reward is so much more, you know what I mean?
Unbalanced.
There's a reason we don't run as many choice Pokemon in this format, because if you could lose a game being locked into the wrong move
that you can't use or just end damage.
Yeah.
You can't risk that sometimes. There's more times than not you're gonna get stuck.
Yeah.
Rather than sweep.
Yeah. 3v3s is like a delicate game mode. To be perfectly honest, it's a delicate and it's hard.
Yeah, you're walking on thin ice.
Yeah.
As they up here in Michigan.
Yeah. But all right, bro, let's take a little break, and then we're going to come back. We'll talk about the Nintendo Direct for a little bit. We're going to go refill our coffees, and see you guys on the other side. All right, we are back. We're going to talk about what was it you called it?
Let's get directly down to business.
Ooh.
The Nintendo Direct that we have coming up here. So it was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. We watched the whole thing. We talked about it. We took some notes. It was great. I actually was pretty hyped for a decent. I was pretty surprised about how much of it I was hyped for.
Yeah.
But I guess we can just kind of go through the list.
Yeah, so we'll just go based on what we thought was interesting in order. So first thing we have to talk about, right? Pikmin 4. So Justin, your thoughts on Pikmin? You got any thoughts on Pikmin?
I know all of them are from Smash. It looked like a casual, really fun. Maybe it's like a puzzle game or something. So again, I've never played one. This is just my perspective. I obviously know a little bit about it, but Doug told me a little bit. But it looks like some sort of like puzzle game. You're using all these little Pikmins to like break through walls and drag stuff, and you gotta find your way through where the garden or wherever you're at. And I'm assuming that's just one of the levels. But again, so I know him from Smash, so I know a little bit about it. It looks fun. Probably not a game that I'm gonna drop $60 on day one, but it definitely does look fun if you're interested in that type of gameplay. It looks great. I know the Pikmin community is vast, actually.
Yeah.
Pretty surprised about that. Again, Smash days. About how many people are actually a big fan of that game series. Doug was pretty hyped about it. Shout out to PMC Sport Ninja. So yeah, it looks pretty cool.
So here's where I segue into the other part of it, okay? So I'm going to do this like really salty kind of like backhanded segue, okay? So we had a few directs. Okay, so it was the direct where Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was announced. If you follow the channel, I am a huge Xenoblade Chronicles fan.
Yep.
Sorry, my kid's flying around up there.
Hero's really feeling it.
Yeah, so I'm a huge Xenoblade fan. And there's a guy on YouTube by the name of Arlo, tons of subscribers, makes some pretty good videos. When that direct came out announcing Xenoblade 3, he was like, "Man, you Xenoblade fans, you get everything you want. You get your characters in Smash, you get all these ports, you get this and this and this and this. I just want Pikmin 4. Well, you know what, Arlo? You finally got Pikmin 4, and you know what I got to say? If your games were better, if Pikmin games were better, you would get more Pikmin stuff over Xenoblade stuff. But Xenoblade games are just better. Sorry.
Anime waifus with British accents.
Well, who doesn't want to be a part of that?
That trailer in this direct. So obviously, next up was the Xenoblade DLC. Spoiler alert. That was so over the top British. It was so funny.
And we had to have a conversation about this off camera because Justin hasn't partaken in a lot of Xenoblade stuff. And he's like, "So let's talk about Xenoblade." And I was like, "Bro, I can't." So we came to the mid ground here. I'm gonna give you a spoiler warning, okay? Right here and right now. Spoiler warning. If you don't want Xenoblade spoilers, then just skip ahead.
So what did they announce?
So they announced Xenoblade
DLC.
Yep. So
is that what that is?
Yeah. So Xenoblade Chronicles 3 has DLC in 4 waves. The first 2 are already out.
Cool. Fire Emblem Engage is the same thing. 4 waves.
Yep. So I think the third one just came out as well with the direct. The fourth one was the big announcement. That was where you saw. That's where that footage was from. They were getting some story DLC. And the trailer
that on screen was kind of crazy.
So on screen they showed Rex, Shulk, and a character named Alvis. And now this is where I can't talk anymore, basically, because seeing those 3 characters exist on screen at the same time, it's
not happen.
That's a big deal. That's like if Cloud and Squall were on the same screen at the same time, you'd be like, okay, what is this about? So
exactly,
I'm hyped. That's as far as I can talk about Xenoblade.
Do you have the DLC? Are you getting it?
I didn't have it yet, but I'm going to get it now. Because I wasn't far enough in the game to make use of it. But yeah, I'm gonna get it. I don't have it yet.
All right. So what's up next on the direct?
So we're gonna skip over some things we found a little not interesting. But another thing we found interesting was got this Dead Cells Castlevania an expansion.
Shout out to AMC Joseph G, our buddy Mike, big fan of Castlevania. This game looks pretty sick. It's like a DLC expansion, remake, sequel. I'm not really sure, but it looks really, really cool.
Yeah, and it's side scroller. I'm always down with side scrollers. You know, I'm a side scroller guy. I love Mega Man games.
We'll get to that.
Well, yeah, we'll get to that. So next was Deca Police, Justin. This was something that you had to point out as like, hey, we got to talk about this.
Yeah, Sport Ninja and I were watching this direct Wednesday evening, and we were pretty interested in this. At first, it was just like, all right, anime. We like the art style, like cell shading, kind of comic book, real thick black lines, kind of like with like some of the old Ultimate Spider-Man. How it almost like it was what come to life.
Yeah.
All right, but it's like this detective game. Not super my thing, but like puzzles and clues and stuff. All right, yeah. I like strategy, so it's whatever. Wasn't super into it. And then it got to the combat part, and it was like Final Fantasy, like turn-based tactical RPG combat. And I was like, all right.
Yeah.
Like the beginning of the show, anything turn-based tactical, style combat, you at least have my attention. So my ears perked up, and we end up watching that part over again. And we were like, yes, at least keeping an eye on. So we marked it down in the notebook. I was like, hey, we'll at least mention it as like an honorable mention. It's like, hey, keep your eye on this. If you're a Fire Emblem or Final Fantasy fan, this might be something of even Persona.
Yeah. Yep.
This some Persona vibes.
Yeah, it's a fun mix of like detective, sci-fi, turn-based. It's like something we've never really seen before, honestly.
Yeah. Also like a little bit futuristic, cyberpunky, but just a little bit, like just like 10, 20 years in the future, not like 100.
Yeah.
So it was just really interesting. So worth shouting out.
So then this is another game that came as like a kind of a surprise to us. We got like a Bayonetta spin-off.
Yeah, where it's like her prequel, her origin story.
Yeah, and honestly, dude, it looked okay. I've never played Bayonetta. It looked really cool. So it was like, the old PlayStation Final Fantasy games where you're kind of just like walking along this beautifully painted static map or background or whatever. It was like that, but like Bayonetta had a really cool design with this like really long flowing ponytail hair,
witch instead of like a gunslinger thing, and she basically was Tibbers from she had like she was Annie and Tibbers from League of Legends. Like she just had this little pet cat doll, and Cheshire cat, and she threw it out, and the doll exploded into this big monster. The monster fought and helped her fight off demons, and she was like a little maid shooting fireballs, and it looked really cool. The art style was really, 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 really beautiful. It's at least worth checking out.
Yeah, if you're a Bayonetta fan, you already know about it, but if you don't know anything about it, you should check it out because
it looked beautiful, so it got my attention.
Yeah. So then moving on. We're calling this one Mickey X. So
Mickey. So yeah, we put this on the notes because this seems like a great group game. Mm-hmm. Again, you guys have seen us do streams. If we have group nights, we as well as Brandon has 3 sons.
Yeah.
Doug's daughters are almost at that age they can start, playing. So Mario Kart, Mario Party. We love those group games. Always have, always will. This looks like one of those, but maybe a little older kids, but still, this looks like a great group game.
Yeah, it's like side-scrolling Mickey with like wall jumping and all this stuff. So like,
yeah, it's Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Donald Duck, and Goofy, and the art style is great. It looks like it looks like you're playing a cartoon on TV.
Yeah,
it doesn't look like a video game.
Yep.
And you're basically it's probably going to be childish and stuff, but we play Kingdom Hearts. We're fine with that mix. You know what I mean? I imagine this is like a Pixar movie. It's meant for the kids, but there's stuff in it for the adults in the room too. So like, this seems like a good family game. So it was worth shouting.
Yeah. So Justin, here's where you're going to take over a little bit here. Fire Emblem. Talk about what we saw Fire Emblem related in the direct.
I talked personally about this because I purchased this DLC pass.
Okay.
I purchased full pass, so I've got Wave 1 and 2. So basically, the game came out a couple weeks ago, and on launch, you could get the DLC pass. I didn't buy it on launch because I wanted to play the game first. I don't know. I was going to get the DLC, just I wanted play the regular stuff.
Right. Same boat. I didn't buy the DLC for Xenoblade on day one. You know what I mean?
Well, because part of the DLC is like they give you money and they give you some items, and I didn't want to do any of the pay to wins. Not that I care, but like in my first run through, I wanted to play raw. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You don't want to get carried by the DLC. You want to just beat the game.
Yeah. And then 2 weeks and 70 hours later, and I'm on chapter 17, and I'm stuck in the mud. So I bought the DLC to pay to win to get through where I'm stuck.
Oh, God. You pay to win jerk.
Hand to God.
All right. So what do you think about the DLC so far?
Oh, my God. It's so cool. So it's amazing. I did not buy any DLC for Three Houses.
Mm-hmm.
Just cause. And no reason. No rhyme or reason to it.
Yeah.
Just didn't. So this is my first real experience in a long time, especially on the Switch, the first experience of Fire Emblem DLC. Basically, the regular map that you can go around and play on, that's the world. At some point, you go to a harbor. If you have the DLC, you can go to this harbor, it will open up. So you go to that harbor, and you basically take a ship. It's basically Orange Island.
Oh, okay.
See how I made the Pokemon reference?
Yeah.
It's essentially Orange Islands for Pokemon reference. It's like that separate little place that you can only get to with this ship. And once you're there, then there's a whole bunch of new maps, and you have to each map that you play, you can unlock a new Fire Emblem. So obviously in Engage, you know, as you've seen in the trailer, Zero.
Yep.
All the old Ike and Marth and Roy and all the old protagonists and main characters and stuff are like these ghosts in the rings, and they give you superpowers for each character and stuff like that. So you can give your mage, so and so for Emblem, and it boosts up their magic and blah blah blah. Right?
Yeah.
Just kind of stuff like that. Which is great because for somebody like me that's a super fan of the series, it's all nostalgia. So I'm just like hyped, right? Like the enemy. Spoiler alert. The enemies at one point like stole Marth from me. So like at this point in the story where I'm at, I don't have Marth. He got stolen, and the enemies have him, and I have to fight against That's why I'm stuck. I have to fight all 6 of the enemies who have powered up emblem rings in one map.
Oh, God. Do you have to... Okay.
The spoilers. So, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, so, like, to clear that mission, do you have to KO all of them?
Yeah.
Oh, God, man.
I'm playing hard, and I'm playing the hardest mode, and I'm playing classic, so if they die, they're permadead, and I'm trying to clear it, as I always do, where nobody dies.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, the DLC is really great. I'm 2 out of 2 so far. I have Tiki and Hector. I'm right now on the map for Soren, and then I'm going to go for Claire. So really, really exciting stuff. Very, very happy. This is one of the best Fire Emblem experiences I've ever had in my entire life.
Wow.
I can't recommend it enough. Three Houses was amazing for how innovative and unique it was and customizable it was, but it's its own unique thing compared to every other Fire Emblem game.
Okay.
So I love Three Houses for what it was, and then I love this for how advanced they made like all the traditional. Does that make sense? So I love them for different reasons. So I could talk forever. I can't be more happy. I'm very, 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 very just kind of in the deep end of the waters right now, having a great time swimming around with the sharks. So yeah, the Fire Emblem DLC pass. So this is, again, you said you're on wave 3 for no?
Yes.
Is that what they released? So day of release here, they released of the direct was Wednesday, and then later that night was you could download the DLC. So that's what I did after I watched the direct. I downloaded the DLC, got the 2 expansion pass. 2 waves of the expansion pass out of 4.
Yep.
And they also announced in this direct, we're getting more story too.
Yeah.
And it looks sick. It's probably going to be about Christmas time, it looks like.
Really? That far?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, you'll have tons of games already like done and out of the way by the time it comes through.
Let's talk about those. So what's next?
All right, so we're going to kind of rapid fire some of these because that was one of the big hitters for us personally on the channel. So a couple other things. We got Octopath Traveler 2 is going to be coming out. That's pretty interesting, right? I've heard good things about Octopath. I think it's a really good game. I've heard the first one was kind of grindy, so hopefully they kind of like fix some of that stuff.
Yeah, Sport Ninja played it. He said it was great, but he likes grindy games, and even for him, he's like, this is a bit much at times.
Right.
But for what it's worth, he did say outside of that he did enjoy a lot of that game.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Katamari's getting a sequel.
Yeah, it's called Reroll.
Yeah.
It's like a remastered port, basically.
Yeah. A pretty fun niche game. It's got a really decent following, so that was worth a mention. Sea of Stars. What was that?
Yeah,
what was it?
dude. No. So Sea of Stars. So it's a great game that came out. The demo came out that night. Also, Sport Ninja and I have also tried that. It's amazing so far. Definitely, highly recommend go checking out that demo, even for you, Zero.
Okay.
But after that, speaking of remasters. Bro.
Yes. All right. I'm turning it back over to you.
No. This is yours. Oh. Sorry.
No, bro. It's you, bro.
Yeah. So my reboot camp finally is getting a launch. So obviously, with the things going on in the world over in Europe and between Ukraine and Russia, this game was about to launch last spring.
Yeah.
As well as everything started happening last spring, so it's just poor timing. Even though this is like a cartoon game, it's completely understandable. But now this spring, we can finally have it. So April, baby, let's go.
April. So you... What's that?
What time? What was that? April, I think 21st or something like that?
Yeah.
It's sometime.
I think so.
Let
me do a quick Google search. So talk about Advance Wars here really quick.
So yeah, Advanced Wars, again, you've just heard me gush about Fire Emblem. This is that, but the aesthetic is like a cartoon army. So like instead of like a fantasy army, it's a cartoon like modern army. So like there's tanks and I like the helicopters that had the missiles and stuff like that. And there was like anti-aircraft guns but it was like all super cartoon based. So like, again, but it's the exact same gameplay where you move in squares and stuff. So, but it's, instead of like a dude with a sword, it's a dude with a gun.
Yeah.
But little army dudes.
April 21st. April 21st.
So yeah, very exciting, very casual kind of, my Fire Emblem's like that. I'll crack out because I'm super passionate. The story's great. This is more the casual side of that. Kind of like Mario Rabbids.
Yeah, exactly. So, the next one's a pretty big one. We have the Game Boy emulator coming to the Nintendo Switch Online.
Yeah, they sort of threw a curveball here. So the Game Boy's coming out. Great. Absolutely amazing. Some staple games. The Oracle games are coming out, you had mentioned.
Yeah, so Zelda Oracle of Ages and Seasons. I have never played either of those, so I'm super hyped to get in on those. Yeah.
The Mario games?
Yep, Mario 2, 6 golden coins. I have beat that game about 6 million times. I will do it again.
Yeah, buddy, let's do it. Super hype, right? And then, the screen popped up, and we saw the glory that was the Game Boy Advance. We're also getting the Game Boy Advance emulator for the Nintendo Online, and Zero. They showed off, wow. I'm not even joking. This is our reaction, like, wow. Like the Home Alone kid, right?
Yeah.
5 of the most staple games of Nintendo's history for these franchises, just in general. Obviously, outside of Pokemon, they had the Zelda game. They had the Metroid Fusion.
Yep.
Talk about that for 30 seconds.
So,
what the heck is this game?
So this, chronologically, is the game that happens before Metroid Dread. This was a Game Boy Advance game, basically where Samus kind of gets infused with Metroid DNA and then becomes like an ally to Metroid's big thing. The whole thing happens on a space station. You have to go see it. It's also where the computer system that she talks to originates from, is from this game. So the computer system she talks to in Dread,
which is a big deal,
is introduced in this game. It's basically like...
So, would you say this is a good game for Metroid fans?
Yes.
Because you're a Metroid fan.
Yes. This is like...
This is the top tier.
Yeah, like a lot of Metroid fans are going to be like, I'm going to play this game again. Yeah, 100%.
And then Kirby. So Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, which, Sport Ninja was super hype about that because that's like a staple.
Yep.
And Fire Emblem. Brandon goes, which one? I said, Fire Emblem.
It's literally just called Fire Emblem.
Yeah. So this is the one this is the first Fire Emblem I ever played as a kid on the bus ride. Like all those this is the game. So on the cover is Elliewood with the red hair, and then Lynn with the kind of green hair, that's the girl, and then Hector. So Lynn is one of the emblems in the game in Engage. That's part of the story. I actually have her right now. And Hector is one of the new DLCs that just got dropped from Wave 2 on Wednesday.
So Fire Emblem fans are like eating right now, bro.
Oh, yeah, dude. Kirby and Fire Emblem fans.
Yeah.
And then after that, F-Zero. Shout out to my buddy Mike. Let's go, Sport Ninja. Let's go, Joseph G, the whole crew. We got some Fire Emblem. We got some F-Zero. And then after that, Golden Sun. Like,
yeah.
It's one of the crisp... It's like a staple. Dragon Quest is very similar to that type of gameplay where it's like obviously Dragon Quest is unique for being, you're a big fan of DBZ and it's that artist.
Yep.
But it's like that. It's a RPG, turn-based, very much. So Golden Sun's great. So just 5 bangers out the gate, bro.
Yeah, dude. All right. So then, man, we got so much. Okay. All right. We're moving on to a big one here. Okay. For me. Ready? Metroid Prime got remastered.
This is it, bro. This is what we thought was going to be like the pinnacle of the Direct.
Yeah, because I had predicted, I was being a little bold, but I was like, Metroid Prime 4?
So yeah, Metroid Prime 4, for people that don't know, got announced like 5 years ago at E3, and then we hadn't heard from it, and then the pandemic happened, and we just haven't heard from it in a while. But now we get Metroid Prime 1, which came out on the GameCube, and I did own this game. So did you.
Yep.
Obviously.
Yep.
You being the Samus guy here. Great game. Had whack controls back in the day.
Yeah, for real.
Go check out the stream where we messed around and talked about our fun times with the port of the 007.
Yeah, that was crazy.
But we got new controls here. Just like 007 now has options for new controls, this has options for new controls, and it looks so beautiful. Talk about you're the guy, gush.
So, yeah, and it's like, these graphics weren't even bad at the time of release, you know what I mean? Like, remember when this game came out, and we were like, graphics can't get better than this? It's like, they can get better.
These remastered graphics look great. I'm very excited for this game, and it legitimately got me and Sport Ninja and Joseph G and Zero, all the crew, we're all talking like they're finally doing some Metroid stuff.
Specifically,
MD4 finally is back on in production, and they're going to give us some news, maybe even talk about or mention its existence for the first time in half a decade. So we're very hyped, very excited, because that could have the potential to be like Nintendo's Halo.
I do have to say, if they give this treatment to the second Metroid Prime, I am going to be incredibly pushy with you guys to pick that up, because that is
that's the one.
That is, for me, that's the pinnacle of Metroid.
Okay.
That's the pinnacle of Metroid, in my opinion, of
Metroid
the
Prime
whole.
2?
Yeah, Metroid Prime. It's my favorite game on the GameCube. God, I could talk about Metroid Prime 2. I just love that game so much.
Let's go, baby. Now you get why I gushed about the Fire Emblem.
Dude, I just, like, even to the packaging. Like, I'm sitting here imagining me holding the game, and it's like, God, it was just so beautiful. Yeah. The game was amazing. It's, oh, God.
So we're hyped, is what we're saying. You're hyped that they're at least starting down this road of touching up one of your... So, outside of Pokemon, I obviously like Fire Emblem.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big one for me. And then I also grew up playing TCGs with, Sport Ninja.
Yeah.
That's a lot of card games. You grew up as a fan of, in your household and with your brother and your sisters, Sonic.
Yep.
Metroid.
Yep.
And Crash Bandicoot. That was your Pokemon adjacent, non-Pokemon world.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So to have one of your top threes getting this type of love, I'm sure. Oh, and obviously Mega Man.
Right. Yeah.
We all love, but we love Mega Man. That was a universal. We all love Mega Man.
Yep. Yeah. So
speaking of Mega Man, they did like a montage thing of games that are coming out soon. We've talked about it on the channel before, but we will gush for a half a second here. The Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection. So we have a huge spring coming up here for the PMC of non-Pokemon related items, actually.
Yeah.
Not sure how much is going to make it to the regular channel in terms of edited content, but in terms of live streams, there could be a lot of content here. I could see myself roaming around in Hyrule on stream while we talk.
Yeah, that'd be super fun.
So, April and May are going to be huge.
Yeah.
Your son has a birthday in May. But before that, so the Mario movie comes out. That's big Nintendo news.
Yeah, dude, that's on my I put that on my calendar, dude.
Then the next week on the 7th.
No, Mario's the 7th. Mario's the 7th. So we're talking a week after that.
Mario's on the 7th. Then the next week is
Battle Network
Legacy Collection.
Yup.
And then the next week is my Advanced Wars reboot camp.
Yup.
And then the next week, we have a week off. And then the next week is the final thing that they talked about in the direct.
Tears of the Kingdom.
5th. Your son's birthday. Right? Isn't that when this game comes out?
I think it's the 15th or the 12th or something. I don't know. Either way, early May.
Oh, a metal album came out on the 5th.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yep, Currents. I told my kid I was going to get him a metal album for his birthday.
Yeah. So, and then we have a huge concert on the 28th.
Yep.
That's what I've missed. So so we have a movie.
Yep.
A game.
Yep.
A game. A concert. A week off finally.
It's not
and
even
then Zelda.
Dude, it's not doing a week off because it's Vinny's birthday, so it's like.
Oh yeah, Vinny's birthday.
Yeah.
And yeah. Boy's turning 13.
Yeah.
Woo!
I'm gonna have a
Getting old,
teenager,
man.
dude. Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So huge time coming up this spring. Stay tuned for all of that. Obviously, we're going to be doing a lot of Pokemon stuff. Really excited to see what the future series, because that might be home content at some point, which means Hisuian Pokes. Let's go!
That's the meta I'm the most excited for, dude, is Hisuian.
That's where I'm hyped. That's what's going to really, really put gas in my engine. So let's talk about the Zelda. We'll close up here because I'm going to say it right now. I've said it on the channel before. You already know this. You can shame me on channel. That's fine.
Yeah.
You already know it, though. Everybody already knows. I'm the only person in the PMC. I'm the only one who's never played a Zelda game.
And I'm not going to shame you. I am just going to say I'm surprised because these games are 100% up your alley. Fantasy games with elves and dwarves and
magic,
and goblins, and you know what I mean? Like, it's super surprising.
So I talked to I didn't own the Switch at first.
Yeah.
When all the hype was up for Breath of the Wild. But I love what I've seen and played of Breath of the Wild. I've never played through it, but I have played it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I mean. I've never played I've played Zelda. Just never sat down and actually played a Zelda game. Played all the way through it or bought one or owned one. So this will be my first experience, though.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Day one, baby. May 5th, May 12th, May 15th, May 30th. I don't care. The day it comes out, we are going to have a bro day. The whole PMC is going to get together. We're going to order pizza or cook or do whatever we do. And we're going to play some Zelda. And that'll be my very first experience. And I'm very excited.
You know what would be, you know what would be cool? If we could somehow get all, like, 4 of us playing Zelda and, like, put all of our screens on screen for a stream or something like that. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know how we would do it, but...
We could do 2 with 2 Elgatos.
That's true, yeah. So,
But yeah, so the trailer was sick. Sport Ninja was like peeing his pants excited.
Yep.
He was just freaking out. And he actually saved at the very end, please give him his power. And then they're like falling. He's reaching. You know what I mean? He saved that at the screenshot. So It's amazing. The trailer was great. We saw like a magic hovercraft thing.
There's a lot of interesting gadgets that we don't have we don't have an explanation for that yet. So like that kind of stuff like was but wasn't in the last game. Like any boat. If you were on a boat in the first game, it was made of wood, and you had to take a giant branch, and swing at it to make the sail go. That's how you sailed in the first game. So this will be like an interesting departure from all that.
Oliver, Ollie Bolt. Well, I mean, he is a Pokemon. He can feature, at least for, like, if he barks once and you're just like, ugh, and then we cut it.
Yeah. Just like, I want to say something.
He's a Bolton.
Yeah. But yeah, so here's something I got to say. So I think two things here. My favorite game on the Switch is Xenoblade Chronicles 2. That's my favorite game on the Switch.
Ooh, favorite game. Keep talking, but favorite Switch.
The best game, in my opinion, the best game on the Switch is Breath of the Wild. 100%. So to get a sequel to that so late in the Switch's lifespan, because we got to start thinking about the future here over the next couple of years, it'll be nice to have that kind of like bookended launch with a great Zelda game, and I'm hoping for more of the same for the second Zelda game.
I'm very excited. The trailer got me hype. I'm coming in as noob could be. I'm wearing socks and sandals on the beach, and I'm a newbie, but I am so excited because every one of my friends, they're all like, dude, you see this Zelda? And I'm like, I don't know. So I'm finally excited to be able to jump in.
Yep.
And now I'm like, hey, guys, I'm here.
Yeah.
Gonna be green, but that's all right. I'm very, very, very excited to try this out. Gonna be a fun time. Gonna be a fun spring. Can't wait for those Hisuian Pokemon to drop. That will be the hypest of Gen 9 Pokemon right there. Is getting those Hisuian pokes in competitive.
100%. I'm with you. But the series that I am looking forward to the most.
I'll put Mega Man down. I'm going to put Fire Emblem down, put Zelda down, put Xenoblade. I don't care about any of that.
Mm-hmm.
If they let me use Hisuian Samurott with sharpness boosted.
Day one, we are doing...
Not Precipice Blades. Darkness Edge is on the card. What's his actual move called? Ceaseless Edge?
Ceaseless Edge. Yep, you got it. Yeah. Yeah, so Ceaseless Edge, bro.
Sharp. You know what I'm going to run? I'm going to run my Gallade set.
Okay.
I'm gonna run. If you want some Pokemon tech at the end of this podcast, little cherry on top. Mm-hmm. It's like when you go to those fancy hotels and they leave a little mint.
Yeah. Here, let's have it.
I'm gonna run the same thing that I ran on my Gallade, which is the crit build.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he'll be Stab Night Slash. So Night Slash has a +1 crit chance.
Okay.
Scope Lens has a +1 crit chance.
Okay.
Now that's a 50% crit chance for people that are out there listening. For your Night Slash.
Mm-hmm.
Stab Night Slash. With sharpness boosted.
Would you...
Then on top of that, he also gets Aqua Cutter.
Yep.
Which is amazing. He gets Aqua Jet, which is amazing. He gets Swords Dance. It's still undetermined whether or not he'll get Focus Energy. If he does, the set writes itself.
Yeah.
Focus Energy, Scope Lens, Sharpness boosted Night Slashes.
Yep.
And you destroy the world. You know what I mean? All these Ghost Terras and like you already know. We've been talking about it. Go back and listen to my Iron Hands description.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like Ghost has always been popular. Ghost will always be popular. Ghost is a great utility typing, offensively and defensively. Being able to just smash them in the face regardless, that's going to be great. Ghost Garganacl's still around. and critting Garganacles the way you beat him.
I'm saving my tech because this is a day one Hisuian meta feature. I'm saving the tech.
Do I know about it off camera? Do I know?
Yeah, you know. You already know.
Okay.
You already know. All right.
Yeah. We talked about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, being able to use Weird Ear is going to be amazing. That boy, the new Intimidate in town. Psychic normal type is already dominating the meta with either Farigiraf or Indeedee female. They're literally everywhere in terms of support pokes. So now we have one of those that can do that with screens and Intimidate and Trick Room and Psy Shield Bash. Like, the dude's amazing. And
yeah,
there's so many good pokes. We could talk forever, and we will. Stay tuned on Pokemon Masters Council for more tech of the Hisuian and home drops when it comes out, obviously. But yeah, let's go play some Series 2. You ready?
All right, buddy. Let's go do it. Until next time, I've been Zero.
And I'm Justin.
Council's adjourned.